Jump in my 6'4" and let the top dine. Trunk hitting hard when I swing through H-time. Cup full of oil and an orange kush sweet. Cause this is how we do it in that 713. My candy red paint cocked up on foe. Shocking and body rocking cause the south side ho. DJ Screw got me falling asleep. This is how we do it in that 713.
Welcome to Sports with Balls. Here are your hosts, Jeff Michael, Lauren Leal,
I got it right here.
Brent Miles.
I literally just switched over, Jeff Michaels.
It's on, Lauren.
Michaels.
You're forgetful. Forgetting. What's up, guys?
I have two different streams going on, so I was welcoming in the Facebook feed on both.
Yeah, welcome into Sports with Balls, everybody.
Welcome in on this lovely Thursday evening. It is chilly in Houston, man.
There's a lot of people in Houston right now that do not think this is a lovely Thursday.
I was going to say, it's not just the
chilly.
weather.
No,
it's not just the
right?
weather
It's
that's
not
chilly.
the weather. Houston,
I'm just kidding. I know
Houston,
it's
Texas. Houston, Texas is on the sports map right now.
It's fun. I enjoy it.
I bet you do.
I bet you do, Mr. Dallas lover.
I enjoy it.
Digging the outfit this afternoon.
Oh,
or
yeah.
evening.
Representing.
We're over here at Christian's Tailgate, y'all. This is Sports with Balls. We're down here at Christian's Tailgate right here on Bagby in Midtown. We'll be here from 7 to 8 live. Come have a drink with us if you want. We love it here. Love these guys. Love what they do.
You know,
Love their beer.
Yeah, Lone Star?
yeah.
Oh, yeah. Lone Star all the time,
Lone
brother.
Star.
No.
Damn right.
What you had a phrase for Lone Star beer, and it was going to be something. It was like,
See,
I
can't
got
even
this.
remember. Yeah. See,
you
yeah.
can't remember because you drank
Lonnie's
too much
all-
Lone Star.
Established 1884.
Oh, Lonnie,
Texas is great.
Lonnie, your dad's already watching.
Hey, what up, pops?
We got
I never
Kevin.
had that.
I knew Kevin was gonna watch this show.
Oh, Kevin, yeah.
He's
Kevin was
fired
ready,
up
man.
for this
Kevin told
show.
me-
Kevin, are you fired up about
I
Deshaun Watson?
I saw Kevin today, and he's like, every time he's like, 7 o'clock? I'm like, yes, sir.
Well,
Yep,
look, today's
yep,
show today's brought to you by Smarter Mortgage. Call David Carrier.
You did it again, dude.
Every time.
Smarter.
You're smarter.
Hey,
All
what's
right.
up, David? This is to
There
you.
he is. Yeah, this goes
is
out
to
to
you.
Mr. David right there. David Carrier at 281-650-0648. Mention SWB, get a free quote ASAP. Call today to secure tomorrow.
There you go.
That's Smarter Mortgage with David Carrier. He'll take care of you over there.
Man, you're
David
getting
Carrier
smarter.
will take care of you.
You're getting smarter because of
You
David.
are. You're getting better.
Am I?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Am I?
Proud of you.
I mean, you just said it. Yeah.
We're-
SWB.
We're also going to welcome in Butch Alcindor here at 710 here in a minute, man. I cannot wait to hear his take on what the hell is going on with the Houston effing Texans.
I know, right? I know. Everyone's up in arms. Like, what is going on? No, I didn't say open arms because of David Coley. I said up in arms because we don't know what's going on right now. Houston is playing Portland, since we are talking about Houston sports tonight, because it has just dominated the news world. I just did an Instagram live myself talking about all of what we're going to break down on tonight's show, since we're going to go dive deep, because Grant knows all about it.
Yes.
Okay?
I tell you what would be fantastic. Like, my ultimate sports dream would be
Oh, shit.
would be that the Houston Astros would be that the Houston Astros went through their shit the same time that all this is going on. Like, that would have been magical.
That's mean.
The
No,
Houston,
That's just
like
mean.
the
It's
Astros
not.
going through what they went through last year. Then it's not that they lost George Springer. He was going anyways, but Springer's gone, Harden gone, Watson pretty much out the door. But listen, this show is probably going to be dominated by a lot of Deshaun Watson talk. I've got my opinions on a lot of stuff that's going on, and it might not be what y'all want to hear, but I'm going to say it
No,
anyways.
it is definitely what you want to hear. So stay right here, Sports with Balls.
Yeah, and we have Butch coming on in a minute.
We do.
Butch has been doing sports in this city for 30 years.
KHOU, AT&T Sportsnet, Southwest broadcaster. So you're right. He's been in Houston. He's been a part of Houston, covering this team for a long time, and teams prior to this, a.k.a. the Oilers. So, but before we get him on here, just like I wanted to summarize, it's the start of the new year, right? And we're at the end of January, but what the Texans have been through feels like something that happened over the course of 4, 5, or 6 months. So you look at what started at the beginning of the year. The Texans hired a new general manager in Nick Caserio, without including Deshaun Watson on this conversation, which it's a discussion whether or not you're a franchise quarterback or what you want to be a franchise quarterback to be in on those conversations. That's a different talk rather than
Yes.
telling him he's going to be in on it.
Yes.
And they don't tell him.
Yes.
Which is what happened.
Yeah.
Then you get Cal McNair and Nick Casario just kind of ignoring the fact and like, yeah, he's ignoring our calls now, but he'll come back to us. We're going to continue our head coaching search. Then yesterday it was announced that David Culley is the head coach. And then today it was made official that Deshaun Watson is requesting a trade.
What? I want to put the
like
emphasis on requesting. I really want to put an emphasis on that. Because the Texans don't have to do anything.
He doesn't have.
They can force him to actually retire, and he would have to wait and then come back. And the scenarios in this situation are unbelievable. There's 11 to 12 teams he could go to, and we'll get into all of them and what the Texans could get back on it and everything.
If Deshaun Watson, quote unquote, and we'll go more into depth on what they could get out of him, but just talking about retiring, if he quote unquote retired and then decided to go with the team, they would get, I think, $21.6 million.
Yep.
That's just insane.
You see what Kevin just said on the Saints? And I was going to get into the Saints in a little bit. He's like the cap space.
Into the Saints.
There's a lot of teams that Watson could help out, like a lot. Where do you think he might end up if he does go somewhere? Just your top team.
Just let me ask this to Grant
Don't
first.
say the Cowboys.
Would you want him with the boys?
Well, yes, I would. I would. And not saying that I don't. I'm not a huge fan of Dak, but I'm okay with Dak. But I'm looking at it from a contract standpoint. You have Deshaun Watson under contract. You have Dak not. So, just in performance alone, I do think Deshaun has a lot more upside and potential to carry a team than Dak does. Dak's had, for a couple seasons, has had one of the most talented teams in the NFL. Deshaun hasn't had that.
No.
And so I think you give Deshaun Watson a team like Dallas with those offensive weapons and the offensive line and all that, although the offensive line wasn't great this year, I think the Cowboys perform better. And that's not hating on Dak. I think Dak's awesome. I think he's fantastic. I would rather, you asked the question, which one I prefer, I would prefer Deshaun Watson.
I don't think there's a team out there that would be pissed.
No, this is 25-year-old who had just had his best season of his career.
The Kansas City Chiefs might be mad, and there might be one other team. Who's better than Deshaun aside from Mahomes?
Statistically, not a lot of people.
Aaron Rodgers is coming off his best
if
year,
you're talking
but
about
he's
legs,
older.
you can compare to Lamar Jackson. Besides those couple games,
he doesn't
that
have
was out.
near the accuracy.
But agreed.
Speaking of, did y'all see what I posted on Facebook about Texans fans waking up today and realizing they hired the quarterback coach of the worst passer rating in the NFL? So
are we talking about Coley now, or are we waiting?
No, we're gonna wait. We're gonna wait.
Yeah, okay, because I was gonna get into that as well.
Yeah.
I was gonna get into David.
I was just
Culley.
saying, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, all of the social media handles, and we're on podcasts. Just any of them, man. There's about 100 of them. We're everywhere. We're on YouTube. Just say Sports with Balls to your Alexa. We'll pull up and we're there.
You can catch us right now too, live on Facebook, live on Twitch, and we'll be on YouTube, I think, right? We'll be on YouTube once the show is done as well. We got Johnny J in the house as always. There he is.
You got more than just that, man.
Can you do all the sounds tonight?
What other sounds do you need me to do?
Go through all of them.
What other sounds you got?
Well, are you talking about Johnny or me?
Yeah, well, you said, can you do all the sounds?
No, I said, I want you to...
What are the other sounds?
Okay,
I want her,
you know.
What are the other sounds?
Throw that football over the mountain.
Throw the football over the mountain. I don't know.
You don't know.
I don't know.
Well, y'all stay tuned right now. Thank y'all for watching Sports with Balls. Butch Alcindor is about to give us a call. We're sitting over here at Christian's Tailgate on Kirby. I'm having...
Oh my gosh,
I'm sorry. We're at Bagby location.
We're at Midtown, but there's a cute little puppy right behind us, too.
Dog friendly.
Animal lover.
And, we're going to get... we're going to get into what's hot, which everybody knows. We got into a little bit of a Deshaun Watson discussion, and like I said, it's probably going to dominate the show today. And until we get to some more, we're going to talk about the Super Bowl a little bit, which is coming up next Sunday. And wait till y'all hear what we've got in store for y'all for Super Bowl Sunday.
Oh,
we will be live on Super Bowl Sunday. and it's going to be fantastic.
At the Super Bowl. No, I'm just kidding.
Golly.
I would love to go to Tampa. Anyone want to fly me out?
We'd be a little
Let's
bit
just
more
go.
enthusiastic
Let's go.
about that.
Let's go. Grant, I don't know if you would.
I would be.
You got like one level.
I would be my own way of enthusiastic. Yes, my wife would recognize
What
it.
would you do to go to the Super Bowl in Tampa this year to see Patrick Mahomes going up against Tom Brady for his 10th time?
Well, according to what Jeff posted, you can spend $85,000 and that can happen.
Would you do that?
No.
No?
No. I mean,
What would you do to go to the Super Bowl?
If you have expendable cash, but you're not going to buy one ticket, right? So somebody else is going. It's
Oh, shoot, I would.
No.
Boy, you must be out.
No,
Well, I
no,
would-
no,
I
no, no.
wouldn't-
I take that back. I don't have that money to spend, first off. But secondly, I would go by myself.
I wouldn't want to do that in this environment. Like, if I'm going to go to the Super Bowl and I'm going to spend that kind of money to do that, like, I want to go when it's legit, where, like, the stadium's packed, like, all the pageantry, everything like that. Doing it in this kind of setting with the COVID and the restrictions and all that stuff, like, I don't know. That's
It
not
would be
appealing to
different.
me.
You're
Yeah.
right, you're right. But, hey, Garrett brought up an awesome point. You see these bad boys up here?
Oh, yeah.
That's right. Jeff went and
SWB.
did the thing.
One of them's yours.
SWB, baby.
We're gonna get a couple of different versions of that. A couple of different versions. Why don't we go ahead and thank Roy Stanton and Construction Concepts?
Okay. Let's
Get
do
that
it.
out the way.
Let's do that. I don't even think Lauren was prepared for that.
No.
I don't do construction concepts unless you want me to drop a .com.
Well, I can
on
do
your
it.
butt.
I can do it. So we want to thank Construction Concepts. They are responsible in helping us get this going. Construction Concepts, they are changing corporate culture one design at a time, from hospitality, corporate, luxury retail, and medical facilities. Their team of experts can update or create a space that exceeds your expectations. Give them a call at 713-589-2682. That's buildithouston.com.
Hey, I just want to know for all you
Nice.
people out there.
Well, you want to go? Keep going. Are you gonna say something about James Harden restaurant being across the street? Because it is right here.
It's literally right here.
It
Has
is
anybody
right
ever been?
across-
We
it's
can
not open
see
yet.
it through the windows.
It's not open yet.
I thought it opened on the 26th.
But hey, we've been waiting on this phone call for a minute because I cannot wait to get this guy's insight on the state of the athletics in Houston. Like the sports world in Houston has been turned upside down. Butch, are you there? Hello. Let me see.
We are welcoming Butch Alcindor to the show right now. We spoke about it. It's been on Facebook, been mentioned, and now I think we have him on the line.
Butch, we got you.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Hey, Butch, how's it going? How's this lovely Thursday treating you?
Doing great. I heard you trying to hustle that free meal over at James Harden.
Yes, she was.
Yep. We can see 13th right across the street from here in Midtown because we're at
So,
the
quick question
Bagby
about
location.
that. How long is that place going to stay open?
There's a lot of variants nowadays, so with the virus and all that stuff. So who knows? But remember, Yao Ming had his restaurant, and
That's
even
true.
after he was done, they were open for a while. I mean, we're just in a different time now. I don't know how much what's going on is going to affect the economy as to whether or not he plays for the Brooklyn Nets. What's going to be the deciding factor there. But, think about this. DeAndre Hopkins, Harden, Russell Westbrook, George Springer, Garrett Cole, and now possibly Deshaun Watson. Did any of you guys think that was even possible?
Oh, God. I mean,
No one thought this would be the talk in 2021. Not at all. Although, Butch, I will say that at the beginning
are we
of
the
this,
Cleveland Browns? Like, I mean, are we Cleveland? Are we Cleveland? Like, are we Cleveland? Like, this is so bad. Like, are we Cleveland?
I know.
You got the Cleveland starter
It-
kit.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
You got the Cleveland
Yeah,
starter
I
kit when you
mean-
look at the front of the office. But Butch, we wanted to bring you on here tonight because there's so much drama happening in Houston. I mean, you mentioned it starting from last season to now. And at the beginning of football season in 2020, I talked about this, that it looked like Deshaun Watson, it was his contract year, and he possibly could be somewhere this next 2021 season. And a lot of people said the Patriots jersey before the season even started. And now that's a possibility. But what do you make of the news from yesterday and the hiring of David Coley, and then the request Deshaun Watson is asking for from the Texans today?
Well, I don't know if it's surprising when you consider. Let's go back a little bit to Hopkins. I mean, I would have thought that guy was an untouchable. And you look at the way Deshaun Watson handled that. He didn't say anything. Watson wasn't out there complaining. You just traded the best receiver in the NFL, man. You strapped me. You've left me in a bind. You didn't hear any of that from him. In fact, he was very quiet.
Right.
So, now I had a couple of people this morning. I was doing another radio deal, and one guy was like, Deshaun Watson needs to honor his contract, and he needs to do this, and he needs to do that. And, I hear that, and I get that. And this is something I'd like to throw out to Grant. Let me make a lot of people mad right now. No. I say this only because Grant with the Cowboys is kind of like I am with the Saints. And when I heard that this morning, when the guy was telling me, well, I think Watson's selfish and he's this and that, the first thing that popped into my mind was the situation with Drew Brees. Drew Brees, right now, cannot throw the football over 40 yards.
Right.
He cannot throw the football over 40 yards, 45 max. And before the ball game even started last week against Tampa Bay, you had Troy Aikman saying on the broadcast, wow, this is a great thing that Drew stuck around. He stuck around because he knew this was a Super Bowl team and they wanted to win another Super Bowl for Drew and blah, blah, blah. And Sean Payton built that team offense to compensate for Brees' lack of skills now. And when I heard Aikman saying all this stuff, I'm like, if that would be anybody else, they'd be, oh, what a selfish son of a gun. So again, and when I heard Aikman saying a double standard, like, all these people out there who want to quickly say that Deshaun Watson is doing this because of this, and he's got his contract and he's on his contract. You need to think about this in a broader picture because each individual, people look at this stuff differently. It's completely different. And I saw something else this afternoon that Jeff's going to like because Adam Schefter put out the what he called the Texans leverage. How they could find Deshaun over $95,000 for missing minicamp. How they could find him $50,000 per day for each day. All kind of stuff. Like, you know what? That's nothing. That's just on paper. This is like a divorce. Yeah. I mean, that's what it is. You can do the counseling. You can lose weight. Yeah. You can, get a different haircut. You can do all that stuff. If somebody wants to walk, they're going to walk. Yeah. You cannot keep them around. But the caveat to that is if he's going to go, you've got to make sure it's a Herschel Walker type deal.
Well, I find it strange that he was okay when he signed when B.O.B. was here, O'Brien, and signed a contract extension. He was okay with that situation. And, you had Bob and you had he was not only the head coach but the GM. And Easterby was a Bill O'Brien guy too, and now he's pissed. Well,
but we don't know that though, Jeff. That's the thing about it. We don't know what's going on behind the scenes. Yeah. We have no idea what they're telling him and what they're saying. And a lot of things have to be said when you trade your number one wide receiver away. I mean, I'm not going to believe that he was just, oh, okay, cool. Let's bring in 3 veterans and we'll be cool and we'll do all right, even though they're getting up there in age, one of them. We'll be fine. I doubt it went like that. So that's the thing about it. When you hop on, he got his money. I get that. But there's a lot more to it than that. I mean, it really comes down to a lot more than that. And you could say that about any job. There's just bigger dollar signs in this job.
Well, yeah, I mean,
if you got somebody working.
Lauren and I had talked on 2 shows ago about this, and I had a discussion telling her that he was going to leave because why would he want to stay here? We're not surrounding him with anybody. Like over the next 2-3 years, we have no draft picks. We have absolutely nothing. Like there's no reason for Deshaun Watson to stay here in the middle of his prime career. Now, in my opinion, Deshaun running around like this might get hurt. He's already blown out both of his knees. All mobile quarterbacks like he is get hurt eventually, and I would hate to see him, get hurt. But if he's got to go, and we have an opportunity to get at least 3 number ones, maybe a quarterback, I mean, that's not a bad trade-off.
Hey.
Well, it sounds personal to me. We don't know that. I don't know that. But the way it happened, like you said, it seemed like everything was okay during the season, and then all of a sudden, it almost sounds like they, and the rumor is they told him he'd have input on the coach and all this stuff, and who knows what it was, but it does sound like it could be something personal, and if that's the case, once it starts getting like that, I mean, there's just not too many places you could go.
Yeah.
And speaking of getting personal, Butch, I wanted to ask you this, switching the focus to the coach in the signing of David Culley. Now, I want to know, like, with all the drama going on with Houston, Jeff mentioned Bill O'Brien, firing Bill O'Brien 4 games into the season, and then the team ending their season with those 4-12 record. What was appealing to David Culley coming to Houston, or do we need him more than he needs us? Why would Culley come here?
There are 2 things. The first thing is it's his first head coaching job, and you have to start somewhere. You have to get in. And number 2 on that list is Deshaun Watson, because you can build around Deshaun Watson.
And now, exactly. It doesn't. Today's supposed to be like the second happiest day in his career, right? He gets to work with like a franchise quarterback, and now that is walking out the door.
We are Cleveland.
Well, I don't know if we can put the cart ahead of the horse here, because we don't know that he's gone yet. I mean, every situation can be worked out, and
yes, sir.
You don't know what the details are. But this is kind of bad when it does leak that your agent has requested a trade, and it was already days ago. But things have been worked out in the past, but it has to be completely worked out, because you cannot have a halfway situation. This guy, not only is he your franchise quarterback, he's the big leader on the team. He's the guy. I saw Derrick Henry today, was on some show. I was watching. They asked Derrick Henry about it. Guess what he said? Well, if he leaves, that sounds good for us.
Yeah.
He was all in on.
That's the Grant mentality as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, hey,
that's an NFC East mentality.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, Butch, let me ask you this. So let's just do. Everybody's doing a scenario that he leaves. Let's do the scenario that he stays. In your opinion, how do the Texans salvage the situation they're in if he stays?
I think they can salvage it. I really do, and I'm hoping that he does stay. I mean, he's been my fantasy quarterback for the last 3 years, and I want to keep it. But here's the thing: you might remember this when after the last game, and he was walking off the field with J.J. Watt.
Yep.
And later on, they asked J.J. What it was about, what they were talking about, and he said something to the effect. And I'm paraphrasing because I don't remember exactly what it was, but he said something to the effect of, "Man, I'm sorry we wasted another one of your years."
Right.
And you guys pointed that out earlier about the fact that the type of quarterback he is. I mean, you would think the shelf life would be shorter than Tom Brady, who stays in the pocket and who's well protected and who can play 20-plus years. You don't know when you depend on your legs so much that if you're going to be able to do that. Yeah. And I thought it was very telling, and it said a lot about what J.J. Watt thought about Deshaun Watson, for him to say something like that. And it also means if J.J. Watt feels like that, a lot of guys on this team has to feel like that. Sure. And that's why I think whatever's wrong can be worked out.
For sure.
Well, let's hope so. For everybody paying attention right now, this is Butch Alcindor, and we appreciate you coming on the show and giving us your opinion. It's always valued. You've been a pillar of the community for 30 years now. You've been here in Houston, and get better on that golf swing because we got to go play soon.
And Butch, also, it doesn't. I mean, I hope you're talking about this divorce here, regardless if you lose weight, shave your face. I hope you're not talking from experience.
Well, there was some experience a while back. So
You got to come back on. I still remember the story about you and Oprah Winfrey. You got to come back on one day when all this stuff's done and this COVID stuff's over. And we got to relive that story, man, because that's incredible.
Hey, thanks, guys. Keep doing what you're doing.
Appreciate you, Butch,
Thank you, Butch.
man. Wow,
Have a good one.
Take care.
We always love having Butch on. He's such a great joy. You know his career if you lived here in Houston. If you haven't, jump on board because right now, he fills in, does play-by-play for different football games. I've worked with him, and he's at AT&T Sportsnet Southwest.
Yeah, he does the games at Texas State.
Yeah,
which was Southwest Texas. A long time ago.
He's a Swiss Army knife of sports broadcasting.
For sure, and he loves Houston, man. He loves this city, and I'm sure like you said, he doesn't want to see Watson go.
Unlike Grant. I'm just kidding. You
That's
You
good.
like Houston, though, right?
Yeah, it's got.
Wow.
Yeah.
Really?
Grant,
Wow.
we have a show in Houston, bro. Like,
Calm it down. Calm it down. All right,
It's
shall we
growing
get
on me.
to
yeah, let's get into what's hot. What's hot with
Let's do
Lauren
it.
Leal, brought to you by Joe Applewhite. Joe Applewhite, really, 713-291-5270. Looking for a place to move? Joe is your man. He's got his face all over all the Kroger shopping carts. I mean, this guy is incredible when it comes to real estate. So call Joe Applewhite, Applewhite Realty, 713-291-5270.
It's funny because Mark Borman just said, Jeff, I am always looking for my Astros cup, and I think I just found it
You know,
on
and
your
I thought,
desk.
That's
his?
Yeah, so, okay.
You use that all
No.
the time.
That's a funny story about this. I can't say we weren't drinking because we were, but I had a roadie, right? You know, designated driver though, not me. But
Don't
I'm
say
glad you
that.
clarified that.
Don't say
yeah.
that.
So I took the
container.
cup. Like I took the cup and I was like, man, he's gonna be pissed. And I've had this thing for like 4
You've had it
months
for a while,
now.
yeah.
And and today was the first time I was like, man, if I take it on the show, I wonder if Mark's gonna watch and be like, damn, like
Yeah.
there it
Said,
is.
dang it.
Yeah.
Hey, and
All right.
Grant's got on one of your hats too. I like
That's
that
right.
hat. Why did I get the
I'll
other
turn it
one?
around.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you, Mark, for tuning in
Yeah,
and
what's up,
finding
Mark?
your cup.
We'll,
I'm so glad
we'll
you
watch
found
our
it.
language if you got kids.
I should've
Well,
turned it
as you
around.
know, like we started out the show, we talked to Butch Alcindor about it. Deshaun Watson, the trade news. It has been covering sports all day long because it's the hottest thing happening right now leading up to the Super Bowl. So we're going to get into Deshaun Watson. Like I said, he requested the trade earlier today, and now it's official. And, you know, Butch brought it up, the leverage that he has and that the Texans have against him. And that's Deshaun Watson can be fined $95,877 for missing a minicamp. They can fine him $50,000 per day for each day of training camp missed, plus 1 week's salary, which is $620,000. Like, guys,
Yeah,
I
I
wish
was
that
gonna
was my
say.
week's salary.
We're gonna get into this
and
a
that's
little
for-
deeper.
And that's for each preseason game missed. And if he retires, quote unquote, like I said, it's $21.6 million that the Texans can receive back. So.
Right.
Where do we think Deshaun Watson will go if he gets out of Houston?
You want to get into that right now?
Why not?
Let's do
Why not?
Okay, yeah, no,
We have
let's
30
go.
minutes
Let's go.
in.
That's fine. That's
All
fine.
right,
Let's get into
so-
it. San Francisco, the Jets, Denver, the Jags, Miami, New England, Washington, the Bears, and the Saints are all viable options.
Yeah. That's what I got. I have Saints replacing Breeze, of course, because he hasn't come out with his retirement, but like Phillip Rivers has. 49ers, known with Jimmy G, and Jimmy G, we know what he was famous for, handing it off, which Deshaun Watson can do way more than that. Gardner Minshew, y'all joke about him all the time. They only won one game this season, so he would obviously already be better in that system. Broncos replacing Drew Lock. Patriots, as I mentioned earlier, it was a prediction for the season, and I think him and Bill Belichick would actually be very good together.
Y'all, Mark's drinking. That's
Yeah.
for sure. You
Why
see
is
you
that?
see
What
he
is he
posted?
saying now? What is he saying now?
He said go play for the Rock in the XFL. Like, Mark, you don't need your cut back. That's for
Yeah.
damn sure.
Yeah,
you
that's
good?
all
Not tonight.
No.
Where do you think he's going to go?
I want to hear Grant's because we talked to Butch for a while, and I've got my opinion, and I know Grant's been waiting. Like, I want to know because we're Houstonians, and Grant's from Dallas, so he has an outside opinion. Like, I want to know what team do you think fits him best, or where do you think he's going if he leaves?
Well, Butch was kind of talking about it, and I didn't interrupt what he was saying, but I do think the Texans should do everything that they can to accommodate him. And if the guy, and I don't think they need to do this thing where they put leverage over him and fine him and do all that stuff, because the Texans already have a reputation for how they treat their players.
Yeah, no reason to drag it through the mud more.
That'll just make it worse.
Yep.
Okay, so on Deshaun Watson's end, one thing I was looking into his contract, next year, whoever gets him, it's a bargain. He's in his last year of his rookie contract. Next year, he's only going to count $15 million towards somebody's salary cap. So that's a huge deal. I mean, that's big. You're going to get Deshaun Watson for 1 year at $15 million because he's got his $10 million salary and his $5 million bonus. His cap hit's going to be that. Now, it's the next year that kicks in his big deal. I would be interested in seeing him going somewhere like, I wonder what a team like Jacksonville would do. Because Jacksonville's got a first pick, and you think about it, would you rather have somebody who's obviously going to be terrific in Trevor Lawrence, but he's not proven, or Deshaun Watson? Does Deshaun Watson like going to a place? How appealing is it for him to be in the Texans division playing for Urban Meyer?
Yeah.
For me, I think that's something that seems, because they got a number 1 pick.
Now, there's no such thing as a sure thing, right? Trevor Lawrence, everybody's saying that Trevor Lawrence, Sunshine, is he is a lock, like he is a sure thing. There's no such thing as that. Like, there's not. I'm sorry.
Someone was telling me, like, earlier, Trevor Lawrence is coming to Houston if Watson is gone.
Well, yeah, of course. Well, I mean, if he's traded to Jacksonville, because that's good. That would be the only. That would be the only way. There's so many options for him. This is going to be one of the wildest quarterback off seasons ever.
It will be.
I mean, we're talking about Deshaun Watson right now. We still don't know Matt Stafford, who's still can play football.
You really want him in Houston. You bring him up every show.
No, he's just he's a great quarterback. He's another guy that played for a bad franchise, and I would like to see Stafford go and do something for himself.
Well, Jeff made the mistake one time of comparing Deshaun Watson and Matt
dude.
Stafford.
You did it. You called him out on
I
it.
said numbers wise. Oh, dude, I'm done.
That
was crazy. I didn't say it at the time, but that was crazy.
Stafford's got a killer arm. I'm not saying like I said, Watson has options, right?
Yeah.
The number 1 option, even Kevin just mentioned it. I think if who's on the top of the leaderboard, I even think Vegas may have odds on this stuff now.
Yeah.
The Jets, they got the number 2 pick. They've got. It depends on who they're going to send over here. All these sites have all different kinds of things, but the main thing is for him, no matter what, you want 3 number 1s. They don't all have to be this year. You can get 2 number 1s this year, maybe a number 1 in 2022, and then maybe a couple of defensive players. Boom. But no matter what, it's going to be the biggest trade in NFL history.
You know, it was really funny during the season when the Jets and the Jags were going back and forth because they were like, the Jets are going to have number 1 pick because they hadn't won any games yet until the latter half of the season.
Why'd they win?
And then they went back and forth.
Why did they do that?
Yeah, because they're the Jets.
Yeah.
But it could work out for them.
It might.
Exactly.
Like
Exactly.
I've told y'all before, there's 4 or 5 quarterbacks coming out this year that all have potential, and you don't know which one's going to. The college doesn't necessarily translate into the NFL. Look, Pat Mahomes was 13-16 under.
So what do you think officially is going to happen with Deshaun Watson?
I think he's leaving.
You mentioned all these teams. Where do you think he's
Yeah,
going?
I mean, look, they just hired a head coach that has
Raiders and
never.
Jacks.
They just hired a head coach that has never called an offensive play in the NFL. You're gonna tell me Watson wants to stay here? No receivers, no defense. No, he's gonna demand a trade. I'd say
more
he's
so asking you, where is he gonna end up?
I think he's going to the Jets, and that wouldn't be too bad. And I just don't want Miami because I don't want Tua Tagovailoa because I think he's too small. Right? I just think Watson's way better than Tua, but
right.
I think Tua's a little bit too small, and I think. The Jets are probably going to go.
Here are the 3 teams to think about.
Who loves superstars more than anybody? New York.
Right. Jacksonville, the Jets, and Miami. And the reason I say those 3 teams, because those are 3 teams that need quarterbacks, or not necessarily need, but want quarterbacks. And all 3 of those teams have 2 first-round picks.
Yep.
This year. So
He's going to one of those probably.
I mean, think about it. If you're the New York Jets and you can give up 2 of your draft picks this year and get Deshaun Watson, that's most of your capital right there. Maybe give him a first round next year, a second round. So you basically got Deshaun Watson, and you can afford him because they're going to have cap space, and Jacksonville will too. It would be juicy to have him go to Jacksonville. That would just be, as a person that's not a Texans fan, that would just be the funnest thing to watch.
You brought up the division thing.
Grant.
That would be insane.
That would be the greatest thing ever.
Grant, you said that Deshaun, there could be a chance the Texans could convince him to stay. What would it take, avoiding all of those fines, for him to stay?
And that's why I say they should get rid of him. I don't think they're at a point. That's why I asked Butch that question. I want to know his opinion on that. I don't think they can salvage it at this point. I don't think they can. I think it's unsalvageable.
Well, you think they should keep him if they can, but you don't
Yeah,
think
obviously
That's
they
what I'm
can.
saying. What would they do to keep him here?
I don't think there's honestly. I think their head coach hire was their last shot.
Was the last thing. Was
Do you see
and
Twitter blew up?
So
I know,
this is
I
another
know.
situation of the head coach of the Houston Texans, and we'll get to David Culley in a minute. But with Eric Bieniemy, how
Something's wrong with him.
do you interview with that many
thank
teams
you.
and be that hot of a candidate to not get hired by
There's
one?
something wrong. Like I don't know. Like, and it's been put out there that he doesn't interview well.
Right.
It's been put out there that he something. there's something off. Like there, how much?
I have a theory about why they have Dave Culley.
And well, as far as Eric Bieniemy goes, before we get on to David Culley,
go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say, like, Bieniemy, Andy Reid said that, like, I'm happy he's with us for another year as an offensive coordinator, but I'm not happy because I wanted him to get that opportunity.
Well, Andy Reid's got, and I think I said this on the last show. Why would Eric Bieniemy? It's almost good that he didn't go anywhere else. Like, he's in a perfect position. He might go win his second Super Bowl on next Sunday.
Exactly.
And Reid's got 2 more years on his contract, 2 or 3. And when Reid's gone, he's definitely the successor. Like, I mean, he might inherit a dynasty. Like, I mean, he's in a great position. Now, obviously, there's only 32 jobs available for head coaching, and your goal is to be
a head coach.
So, that plays into it. But to your point, Lauren, there's something, he either doesn't interview well, something's off there because, there were tons of coaching jobs available.
Right.
And he didn't get one of them.
Right, and to your points, do you have one to make on Eric Bieniemy, or just you want to touch on Culley?
Well, I just say this about Eric Bieniemy. Eric Bieniemy, I think it's a little bit along the realm of two. I don't know if anybody knows this, but he's a former Colorado running back, University of Colorado. He was on their staff as offensive coordinator back in 2010. In 2020, he was offered the job to be the head coach at Colorado, and he turned it down. So he's going around the NFL and he's interviewing that too, and he's turning those down. So I don't know. I mean, it's weird.
I don't know if he's turning them down or
is.
they're just not impressed with his. Like, you got to imagine, you've got a head coaching job. You're in charge of $1 billion, like billions of dollars in franchise. Like that's you're going to make or break what goes on.
Bill O'Brien.
So. I guess people not putting faith in Eric Bieniemy after their interview. They just look at each other and like, that wasn't what I wanted to hear, basically, And
you know what the Texans heard? You know what the Texans heard from David Culley is his conservative views on, religion and being faithful, and why all that stuff you think is great, you don't think is great. It's not football.
That's a hot take.
You think that's the reason why he was hired?
Oh, did you not hear the soundbite?
No.
Y'all didn't hear?
No.
So David Culley, they played a bit of it throughout the media, and they played him talking to the Texans and saying, I just feel that it's a place that I can make great change spiritually, and this is not word for word, but I'm just paraphrasing it. Exactly. He said, I think I can make a change in their lives. It's not just about on the field. It's about who they are as people and making these players better people.
Okay.
And of course, won over Jack Easterby and Cal McNair.
Oh, I like that. Okay, I see your input on the Jack Easterby part of it, because that's what Jack Easterby's been on that side of that. He's a
pastor.
Correct. He's a pastor. So
he's from New England.
And look, spirituality and religion, all that stuff. That's not here to talk about, and that's great if they want to do that. You like hires like. So I get all that. But man, if that's the reason why you're hiring a head coach. Hey, at least the Texans will have a team of really good guys. They'll have a team of really nice guys that may go to church on Sundays and be really whatever. But
I'll tell you the saving grace for the Texans right now is that Tim Kelly is still the offensive coordinator. A lot of people are.
Yeah, because it sounds like this guy needs an offensive coordinator.
That's what I'm saying. Like Tim Kelly, a lot of people, it's flown over their heads that Tim Kelly is still the offensive coordinator of the Texans, and Deshaun Watson loves Tim Kelly.
Yeah.
Loves him. So that's a maybe later on. That's maybe a reason that Deshaun might stay.
Do you love Tim Kelly? Do you love the calls he plays?
Oh my gosh, Lauren. Let's get on. Let's get on.
So just a few little increments on David Culley. He's 65 years old. He was an assistant head coach lastly with the Baltimore Ravens, and then he completed his 27th season coaching in the NFL, and we touched on it a little bit earlier. Just so you know, Baltimore's passing game. He was Baltimore's passing game coordinator and wide receivers coach, in which the Ravens were ranked dead last in the passing game this past season in 2020. But he has experience.
Never called a play in the NFL, and he is a head coach of a NFL team.
He has experience with the Chiefs, like we just mentioned, the Bills.
I go to church
and
too.
the Ravens.
I do. I
do
That's
too.
relatable.
I could have interviewed pretty well. Like hire me. Like what? Like at Easterby, what's up? Like I'm good.
Well, and not just
completely
this,
lost his
but he's
mind.
65 years old.
Yes, thank you.
He's 65 years old, and I'm not trying to age. I'm not an
Yeah,
ageist.
what you trying to say?
He's 65 years old. The dude's been in the league as long as you said, and he's never had a coordinator position. In I've been looking through his in college, in the NFL, in any place, he has never had. Okay, I'm sorry. I take that back. 1989, he was the offensive coordinator for UTEP.
That
I
was coming
apologize.
up on 32 years ago.
1989
today.
to 1990, he was the offensive coordinator. So I'm sorry, David Coley,
So
I was wrong.
For
You were
those of
offensive
y'all
coordinator there.
that think that Watson might stay, Grant Miles just busted your bubble.
Yes.
There is no possible way.
Do you
that
think
he's gonna
offense has
play-
changed since 1989?
A little bit.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that dude, that's the last time this guy called
all
plays.
I'm not saying all the head coaches that are in the playoffs are young, but generally speaking, I brought this up a while back when I said I was wrong. Now that defense doesn't win championships, offense does.
Yeah.
And it's just weird that you hire a guy that's never called a play in the NFL.
No.
He has the worst worst passing
Passing
worst
game in
passing
2020.
game in 2020 from the Baltimore.
Ravens.
Granted, look, Lamar runs all over the place. We
Right.
get
Right.
that, and his arms trash, but
Right.
I wouldn't say trash.
it's if it's not, it's roughage on the side, like.
Are you comparing? Are you comparing?
It's trash.
Okay. We know how Drew Brees all throughout his season has been, but this last year, would you compare those arms?
Compare
Drew
what?
Brees and Jackson.
Oh, there's no comparison.
There's no.
Yeah, there's no comparison. But I'm just saying, what I was going to say, my little hot take on this situation, why they hired a guy like David Culley, who I never even heard his name one
Yeah.
time when they were talking about interviewing anybody, is I wonder if the guys that are legit head coach opportunities see what's going on with the Texans and the
They're like, "No."
possibility that they could possibly not have Deshaun Watson, and they said, no, thank you. That's why
Well-
they can get a guy like Dave Culley, because he just wants a head coaching job.
He was in the. He was one of the last guys that they pulled in. Leslie Frazier and Eric Bieniemy were on their second round of interviews, and
Correct.
they pull in David Culley, a guy we've never, haven't talked about much in years.
His Wikipedia page I'm looking at it, is literally 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sentences.
All right, let's stop hating on the 65-year-old. That's been what's hot with the Houston Texans organization.
His Wikipedia page is small. I mean,
I
this dude is
know.
not even. Anyway.
Okay, for some reason I hear like a. What do I hear in here?
Bagpipes. You're hearing a commercial.
Bagpipes.
Is that
Yeah.
that damn Geico commercial?
It's a Geico commercial.
I was
yeah.
That drives me
Yeah.
nuts, man.
I was like, what
because
am
some
I
of them are
hearing?
funny, all
Where
right?
is this
the
from?
Scoop, that
Yeah,
shit's
yeah, that
funny,
one's good,
right?
that was
like,
good.
but the bagpipe thing. It's
Can you do
funny.
it better?
Yeah, I can.
Make a funny commercial.
I will.
Y'all, you're hating on commercials.
That
You're
would
hating
be
on the
great.
65-year-old. No, I'm just
Sorry.
kidding.
So this is not sports.
Not hating
with,
on a 65-year-old.
This is not sports with balls. This is sports with no balls. 'Cause
Yeah.
you gotta be,
Yeah.
gentle.
Yeah, we got to make sure we don't hurt
offend
anybody's
them.
feelings.
Look,
Okay.
I'm not hating on anybody 65. My parents are over 65. I'm just saying, when you're 65 years old and you've been in the league coaching for 30 years and you just get your first head coaching job, like, why haven't you had one in that time frame? That's all I'm saying.
You're right. You're right. But
nobody knows what's gonna happen.
What, is the world ending? Like, what?
And you don't know what's going to happen next season. I personally think the Texans will be better next year. Because they only won 4 games.
I was gonna say, it can't
it's
be
not
much-
that hard. So when I put that up on Facebook, people were like, "Oh, what the hell?" They only won 4 games last year. That's it. That's not hard to beat next year. If they get all these draft picks, man, you never know. Like Sam Darnold for the Jets, he's not bad. He just hasn't had anyone. No running
He's
game,
had
no
no
wide
targets.
receivers,
He has no one-
offensive line.
Exactly.
He could not have anybody in Houston either
Yeah.
if he came here.
well, he had somebody.
Well, I
that
mean-
somebody gave him the mono.
Ooh. Okay.
I don't. Who?
I
What?
don't know. Mono's like kissing. It's like the kissing
Y'all don't
virus,
remember
right?
that when it was all over the magazines
Oh,
and
yeah,
everything?
yeah.
I don't.
Yeah, I just it was something I was
Yeah, who
trying
gets
to
mono?
throw in there because you were saying, oh, we
Thought
don't
it was
have
like
any sports with balls on
1950s
sports with balls.
newspaper I was
Okay.
reading.
Anyways, let's move on to what's hot next in this segment because it is all
Jeez,
been
we're still
about
on
this-
that?
Yeah.
We still are, and that is Jason Witten. So we're going back to your team.
Yep.
He is retiring after 17 seasons, 16 with the Cowboys.
He's not
This last
retired
season-
yet.
This last season
Oh,
with
she gave you the finger.
shit.
She gave you the one finger.
Watch out.
Yeah.
With the Las Vegas Raiders, and now he is said his contract is up in March, and he wants to play one last season with the Dallas Cowboys. So he really is looking to get that 1-year contract to be in Dallas. Any thoughts on
Technically,
this,
I think he wants
Grant?
a 1-day contract, so
Yeah,
he
I
can
think
retire.
I think he wants a 1-day contract.
He's not going to play the entire year. No.
Jason Witten is one of my all-time favorite Cowboys. Jason Witten is one of my favorite players ever. That dude put everything on his line on the line for the Cowboys. Blood, sweat, and tears. Running around without a helmet on. Like, Jason Witten is one of my all-time favorite Cowboys.
Tony Romo owes Jason Witten like a house.
Or vice versa.
Yeah.
Or vice versa. But Jason Witten had
You're right.
Yeah. Jason Witten had an excellent career. 13,000 yards receiving. I think he's the Cowboys leader in touchdowns. Like, the dude was amazing. I was not a fan of his when he came back from retirement the first time when he did the Monday Night Football thing.
Right.
Well,
I didn't think he should have come back. I
Well,
think
he shouldn't have been in
stayed.
the booth.
He shouldn't have been in the booth.
That
either.
was embarrassing.
You're right. But
Sorry, Jason. That was terrible.
But Jason Witten, I think, the debate is going to come, is he a Hall of Famer?
Yeah,
or
I was
not?
going to ask you. Well, in your mind, I'm sure
Well,
you think
can
Yeah, and I could probably be a little biased on
let
that.
me add to this. No other tight end in the
Fitzpatrick.
NFL has played as many games as he has, 271 games.
I mean, I don't think I'm being biased. I think he does belong in a Hall of Fame. Based on Pro Football Reference, their Hall of Fame monitor, the average Hall of Fame tight end, their score is 97.71. His is 105.62, which is fifth amongst tight ends in their career. So I do think he deserves Hall of Fame.
being that there's not a ton of great ones, tight ends,
Yeah.
I think he gets in because he is top
Yeah.
5 tight end. If there was like wide receivers, there's hundreds, right? So there's not a bunch of incredibly talented tight ends, and especially in the era that Witten played in, it's not like today. It's not the Kelsey era.
I was going to say it's not Kelsey or Kettle.
Yeah. So
Right.
yeah, I mean, I think he gets in.
Good for you.
Don't do a speech, all right, Jason?
Woo!
Yeah, you already did the first speech. First speech, that's what I'm saying. You should have gone out on that one, not come back. You've already done the big, crying speech, thanked everybody.
Yeah.
I love you, Jason Witten, but say you're retired and move on.
All right, well, that wraps up our What's Hot, a ways into the show. We got to thank someone for making this happen, and that is Hybrid Technologies Group. Roy Stanton, thank you so much. When it comes to reliability, they're the ones that you need. Phones, cable services, surveillance cameras, cloud services, anything like this. Give them a call at 832-336-1201 at Hybrid Technologies Group. Mention Sports with Balls when you talk to Roy Stanton, and boom, they will hook you up.
Yep.
I think it is.
Scoop. There it is.
Scoop. All right, so
That is so that dude when he does it, I love that.
Oh, yeah. Geico's fantastic, but they're not paying
Not-
enough
not
for
the
me to keep
bagpipe
talking
one,
about
though.
it.
That's
well,
true.
it's just it's overdone.
I do
It's
need-
overdone.
Yes.
So Houston is winning. They have gone ahead of Portland, 58-50.
We're gonna get into
we
NBA.
we are going to get into NBA because we are dwindling down here on the NFL. We got one game left.
Yep.
But you want to talk some Chiefs Bucks? We ready to get in some history?
I don't know. What do y'all want to do? Y'all want to get into history?
I want to ask you a question. You have the lines? Did you look up any prop bets?
I haven't looked up any prop bets just because right now with them out the way they are, I just haven't looked them up because we're kind of far away. I was going to look at them as far as when we start getting on to next week. I can tell you here in a little bit if you want me to at least kind of give you a few of what I see. But, yeah, it's going to be interesting, especially can you imagine how excited Vegas and all these places are going to be now? Like, it's already been records as far as betting on the
gambling?
NFL.
Oh, yeah, man,
I mean,
it's
I
insane.
can't imagine what it's going to be like.
I didn't even know that DraftKings and FanDuel, you can gamble on there now.
Yes.
If you're in the state. You
Yeah.
got to put in your zip
Yeah,
code.
you gotta be, yeah.
But you can gamble, legally.
Yep.
That's insane. These people are making money hand over fist. But
Yep.
anyways, I'm still sticking with the Chiefs right now. And by the way, I'm going to give you guys an update maybe Monday on our Super Bowl special where we're going to be because we're going to go live from somewhere Sunday afternoon right
badass.
before the Super Bowl. It's going to be crazy.
It's going to be so much fun. It's going to be packed. We're going to get contestants involved. Come up, speak on the mic, talk to us, have some games.
Win a date with
It's going to
Lauren?
be a.
Yeah.
What?
It's sponsored by one of these dudes.
No.
What?
As long if it's sponsored by Scoop, there it is.
Got it. Geico.
Maybe.
We've
But I
given
don't know
them
about
enough.
that.
Yeah. So is it my
All
turn?
right. Yes, let's.
Okay.
Well, out of the
Drop-
three of us, like, you know, win a date with Grant, like that's like,
Yeah,
Grant.
nobody's gonna
like,
care
Grant
about
be
that.
boring as shit.
Ow!
I can be boring. You're damn right. But if you'd like to have intelligent conversation, laugh a little bit, and have somebody that's
He's like, would you like me to
this,
smooth you
then-
over with a bottle
Yeah,
of wine?
Correct. Yeah.
That's
Right,
basically
you
what
know.
I'm hearing from
Yeah.
Grant,
Or you,
Grant
or
Miles
you
right
can,
now.
or you can go out with Jeff and be probably embarrassed, totally embarrassed because he'll do something crazy.
No, God, please, no.
You can do that.
Hey, what?
I'm sure Mark or somebody can confirm that, like, if you go out with Jeff Michael, that something's going to happen, or you're going to be like, damn it, Jeff.
Well,
Yes.
all right, but can we move
I haven't
on?
been hanging out with you, but I can imagine.
So,
that's
what happened in
it's
history,
Yeah. So we want to thank somebody. We want to thank.
That just
I'm
like makes me
joking.
want to ask, like, what's the most crazy thing that's happened on a date with y'all before?
Well,
we don't
I-
have enough time for that.
I can tell you right now, I got engaged and didn't even know.
Yeah.
What?
Well, I don't remember.
You were friends. Did you go to the chapel in Vegas and get married?
No, God, shit, no.
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 Johnny raised his hand. That happened to you, Johnny?
What? Oh, he
You?
did?
Oh, you did.
Johnny. Oh, we can't wait for that story. Oh,
2001.
Johnny, if you
okay.
had, if you only had a microphone right now.
Yeah.
I wish
correct.
you had a
Only-
microphone. I wish you had a microphone.
Kevin Anthony, man, date with Jeff or Grant. Garrett, unsubscribing again.
He keeps coming back, though.
I am not saying this. I am not saying this. I'm wearing your lovely jewelry.
Oh, okay.
All right, let's go back in time.
So first, we want to thank somebody. We want to thank Texas AV Productions. They are your event partner for all things live production, setup, designing, installation, corporate events, concerts, and touring support. Mention Sports with Balls, and you will receive a free consultation plus 10% off your total bill. Call them at 281-241-7520 and check them out online at txavpro.com. Toast to those guys. You want to throw a party, they will take great care of you. So today's January 28th. Can't believe we're almost into February.
Right, I know.
January 28th, 1985. Speaking of Houston Rockets, did you know Houston's Bill Fitch became the 6th coach in NBA history to post 600 wins as the Rockets beat the New Jersey Nets? 97-93, he finished 11th with 944 wins.
Okay.
Bill Fitch, yes,
Damn.
absolutely.
Go, Bill.
Wow.
January 28th, 1988, Denver Nuggets point guard Michael Adams takes record streak to 79 consecutive games with at least one three-point field goal. The streak ended the next game. Guess who holds the current record and what it is? Who holds the current record for consecutive games with a three-pointer and what it could
Steph
be?
Curry?
Okay. And Steph Curry. And what do you
Maybe.
think is the number of games?
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, he was right.
Steph Curry at 157 games, consecutive games with a three-pointer.
That's insane.
That's nuts.
That's crazy.
Yes, 157 games.
Wow.
Yes. January 28th, 1969. This is crazy, and there's a time frame when the draft, NFL draft, was now. January 28th, 1969. The NFL draft. O.J. Simpson was drafted, first pick by the Buffalo Bills. January 28th, 1971. Jim Plunkett.
That didn't age well.
No, it didn't. Jim Plunkett was drafted by the New England Patriots on that time. And then, of course, we also have NFL Super Bowls on today. January 28th, 1990, Super Bowl, whatever that is. New Orleans, San Francisco 49ers beat Denver Broncos 55-10. MVP was Joe Montana. Joe Montana's fourth and final Super Bowl. And just as a comparison, because people like to compare Joe Montana and Tom Brady, Joe Montana was 4-0 Super Bowl with 11 touchdowns and no interceptions. His playoff record was 16-7. Tom Brady, 33-11 in the playoffs with 88 touchdowns and 38 interceptions.
He's not a good playoff quarterback.
He's not.
I mean, I know that he finds a way to win, don't get me wrong.
Yes.
But he is not. He's always come behind. Tom Brady has never won a Super Bowl by more than 6 points.
I looked it up. In the 9 Super Bowls that he's been in, he was over 100 as far as his quarterback rating, like 3 times. For comparison, Joe Montana was in the Super Bowl 4 times, and he was over 100 his quarterback rating all 4 games. So
His last, you were asking about Montana's last Super Bowl win, and that was 1990.
yeah, that was that one. January 28th, 2001, the Baltimore Ravens beat the New York Giants, Johnny, 34-7. Actually, they fucking destroyed them, 34-7. Ray Lewis was the MVP, and then I think it was after that game that he went out and stabbed somebody. January 28th.
Damn, Grant.
I'm just saying. This one's for me. These last two are for me. So, and anybody out there who's from Dallas. January 28th, 1960, the NFL announces the Dallas Cowboys and Minnesota Vikings as the new franchises.
Damn.
So how about that? Stick that in your pipe and smoke it.
Grant, Grant, are you
Stick that.
are you reading these comments?
No, I'm not.
This is fantastic, Vincent.
Well, so
Renelle said, asking about she's like, I'm tired of the Texans. They've screwed up. Like anybody got a
Houston
favorite?
sports.
Yeah, Houston sports. Like anybody got a premier team, person you like, whatever. And Vincent said, I thought soccer was like kissing your sister. So I've heard.
Well, I had my basketball coach in high school said soccer's a communist sport.
Oh.
Yeah. So my last one, January
What?
28th, 1996, Super Bowl 30, Sun Devil Stadium, Tempe, Arizona. The great Dallas Cowboys beat the Pittsburgh Steelers 27-17. MVP was Larry Brown. Dallas won their Super Bowl, and that's the fucking last time they've done that. But anyway, so Dallas
Thank you, Johnny.
Dallas Cowboys Super Bowl, and today is Greg Popovich's birthday. I'm not a big fan of the
Hey!
Spurs, but I respect Greg Popovich.
Right.
100%.
All those wins.
I agree with
And Ronell commented back to that kissing your sister. He said, "That's NASCAR."
Dude, that's on point.
You
Keep it
are
coming.
on point. And then my dad said, Plunkett Heisman Trophy winner out of Stanford.
Yep.
Also a few Super Bowls with the Raiders.
Yeah, Jim Plunkett, that dude
Back in the
could
day,
play.
yeah, back in the day, he could
Good
sling it around.
memory.
That dude could play.
For sure.
Good
Yes.
memory.
And that's it. That's what I got. So there you go. You're welcome.
All right, man.
Dude, this was a crazy, crazy show.
This has been a hot show. Is there anything else to drop on us?
Yeah, you got 5 minutes, man. Come on, dude.
I mean, there's not a whole lot that to drop. The QB, I know, like Houston doesn't have a. Okay, well, I'll get back to the Watson thing for a second.
Okay.
As of
Let's do
right
it.
now, if what Deshaun Watson wants, the Houston Texans don't have a quarterback. How do you get one? I mean, obviously it's going to be a trade. You're drafting, but we don't.
It could
like
be a
the Houston-
three-team. It could be a three-team trade.
It's like the QB carousel this offseason is going to be fantastic. Like, it's great for our show. We're going to have tons to talk about.
Oh, it's gonna be a great
constantly.
offseason. Yeah.
Constantly.
Welcome to today.
I can, look, and a few things real quick. The Utah Jazz won 10 in a row and had the best record in the NBA and the number one three-point percentage. That is awkward.
That is weird.
And that
the
goes along
Utah
with the NBA.
Jazz, I mean, boom. Rockets.
Lakers lost last night. Rockets have picked up their game as of late. I love Oladipo and Wall in the backcourt as long as Wall can stay healthy and Cousins can stay healthy. Of course, they're not going to win the championship. They don't have the skill level that some of the other teams do. But the New Jersey Nets are very interesting.
Brooklyn Nets.
Brooklyn,
Yeah,
sorry.
Brooklyn. It's
So
no longer
they're
that.
so interesting with all this. With so many personalities, like how that's all going to go down is
Oh, you're
interesting.
talking with the trio?
Yeah.
Harden, Durant,
Yeah.
Irving? Which Irving
Leading the
dominated.
league in points per game, 120.
Irving, wow. I mean, Irving dominated some of our shows a couple weeks ago
Yes, he
because of
did.
his situation.
Yeah.
But did you know that he doesn't think the Earth is round?
Oh,
He thinks
Irving?
the Earth
yeah,
is flat.
earther.
Yeah.
He's just an awkward dude, And by the way, speaking of awkward dudes, I'm going to bring up something personal. This guy that choked his fiance and, basically tried to kill her in the NFL comes out.
Oh, yes.
He's got
Disgusting.
He's got depression issues and bipolar issues, whatever. Like, man, like.
He said you're not dead yet.
He wasn't taking his medicine, whatever. First of all, fuck this guy, but he does have a disease. Like, there's something wrong with him. If you know anybody that goes through that situation, whatever, make sure they take their medicine and make sure they're all right, because this guy flipped out and, tried to murder her and, feel terrible for what happened. But man, stay on your medicine and get help.
Yes.
I agree with you. It's absolutely disgusting what happened. It's saddening. After she was breathing, he was like, "You're still alive."
Yeah, he
What?
lost it.
Yeah, it's absolutely disgusting. But getting back to some of your comments on Facebook, that's a hot take, Vincent. He said trade Watson and pick up Keenum. He can scramble. Keenum's already been here before, and he's been to like 7 teams.
I think Keenum might be in the bar here. Where's Keenum?
That was a random Keenum. Like, that was a random suggestion.
That was very random. Where
Case
did that
Keenum.
come from?
I don't
Vincent?
know. Case Keenum was a
Dukes?
random suggestion. That was weird to bring up.
So Pat Mahomes coaching college.
Wait, what?
Texas Tech.
Kingsbury.
Oh, yes.
Kingsbury.
Yeah.
Cliff Kingsbury.
Yes. I thought you meant Patrick Mahomes is going to coach college. I'm like,
I
what?
posted some today on Facebook. So for y'all follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, man, every single platform. Follow our podcast wherever you get your podcast. Just type in Sports with Balls to say it. We're good to go. Case Keenum had Pat Mahomes, and he was 13 and 16.
Case Keenum had what?
Pat Mahomes is his
Cliff
quarterback.
Kingsbury.
Cliff Kingsbury. Yeah.
Oh, I was like, I'm so
Yeah.
confused.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Cliff Kingsbury
That's why he's not at Texas Tech anymore.
had Pat Mahomes, and he was 13 and 16
Yep.
with Pat Mahomes.
Yeah.
Insanity. So that's
And he gets, and so
Yeah.
you have Pat Mahomes on your team. You're 13 and 16, and so your reward is you get an NFL head coaching job. That dude was going to be the offensive coordinator at USC, and then he got hired as the NFL head coach. That's just
Texans
that's a
have
weird
some
trajectory.
damage control to do, man. I want to thank y'all for paying attention to Sports with Balls. I also have to thank Joe Applewhite, Applewhite Realty, 713-291-5270, and David Carrier over at Smarter Mortgage.
There you go.
There you go.
I'm
That's
proud of
right.
you, man.
281-650-0648.
That's right. And we got to thank Hybrid Technologies Group. Boy, Stanton and those guys take care of you when it comes to phone services, cable services, surveillance cameras, cloud services, you name it. They got you. Call them at 832-336-1201. That's Hybrid Technologies Group. Mention Sports with Balls and get your discount. On to you, Grant.
On to me, Construction Concepts. I want to thank you guys, Josh and Mark. Mark's listening. Thank you, Mark, for all y'all do to help us out. 713-589-2682. Basically, if you want to know what Construction Concepts do, like I like to say, they build shit. They'll build shit for you. So get Construction Concepts, and they'll do that for you. And then we also want to thank Tosin and Texas AV Productions. Basically, if you want to throw a badass event with concerts, cameras, microphones, lights, all that stuff, they'll do it for you. Call them 281-241-7520. They'll take good care of you.
Hey, and Noah Hendrickson, you're watching. Yeah, man, we'll come do a pre-show with the wrestling, man. Just hit us up on Facebook and send me a message, and yeah, we can definitely see if we can do that. But
We'll get to you. That sounds like a lot of fun. Thank you all for tuning in tonight on the latest Deshaun Watson crazy news
And the
Texans
commenting.
news.
We love the commenting.
We
Y'all keep
love the
commenting, ask
commenting.
questions. It's awesome.
And Butch,
That's
thank
right.
you, Butch Alcindor, for joining us. For those of y'all didn't catch him earlier, go back, look at the show.
Rewind.
He was on about 7:15 for about 15-20 minutes. Incredible takes on the state of the Houston sports. But once again, man, for Jeff Michael, Lauren Leal, Grant Miles, and Johnny J, this is Sports with Balls.
Johnny J in the house.
We out. Did you?
Thank you, y'all.
I was promoting
I don't
Johnny
know
J.
about that.
Oh, raise the roof. How long does that happen?
Thank
I'm
you all
giving
for
my age.
watching. I love y'all. See
We
you next
out.
time.
Jump in my 6'4" and let the top dine. Trunk hitting hard when I swing through H-time. Cup full of oil and an orange kush sweet. Cause this is how we do it in that 713. My candy red paint cocked up on foe. Shocking and body rocking cause the south side ho. DJ Screw got me falling asleep. This is how we do it in that 713.
Welcome to Sports with Balls. Here are your hosts, Jeff Michael, Lauren Leal, and Grant Miles.